His understanding his view of the matter at this stage, he shared that with the House. That was a perfectly reasonable answer to the question asked. Question number 11, Rahui Katene.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister for the Environment. Does he agree with the statements in Ko Aotearoa Tēnei that the direct infusion of indigenous values into mainstream environmental regulation may well be unique in the world? And if so, how will he advance the opportunities for Māori to make more positive and proactive roles in environmental decision-making?
The Honourable Dr. Nick Smith.
Mr. Speaker, the government has not yet considered this Waitangi Tribunal report, so it is premature to give a definitive answer. A group of ministers led by the Attorney-General, with the advice from officials, has been convened to give careful consideration to this 1,000-page report. Current government policy does recognise that Māori and local iwi do have a special, lazy from the guy that was late for his TV program on work, and local iwi do have a special perspective on environmental issues. We support specific mechanisms to ensure that Māori voice is heard, consistent with the Treaty of Waitangi on environmental decision-making, but we do not support a veto.
Rahui Katene.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the Minister agree with the Waitangi Tribunal that nearly 20 years after the RMA was enacted, it is fair to say that the legislation has delivered Māori scarcely a shadow of its original promise? And what current initiatives has he got in train to ensure central government plays a key leadership role in encouraging local authorities to have particular regard to both the treaty and the concept of kaitiakitanga?
The Honourable Dr. Nick Smith.
Mr. Speaker, my initial view is that the report is overstated. Performance by councils in meeting their responsibilities to consult and engage with local iwi is a mixed bag. Some councils are doing very well, some are not. This issue has been strongly advocated by the Minister of Māori Affairs, Dr. Peter Sharples. We are exploring policy options to improve the performance of council, and officials are due to report back to Cabinet by May 2012.
Rahui Katene.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What explanation can the Minister suggest for why between 1991 and 2010 not a single Section 33 delegation of powers of functions to iwi have occurred, a measure which was introduced in the Resource Management Act to enable local iwi to participate in environmental decision-making and management?
Honourable Dr. Nick Smith.
Mr. Speaker, I think the reason is there is a real nervousness about delegating decision-making completely to an iwi authority. There's a big difference between iwi participating in decision-making and actually making the decisions. As I said in answer to the primary question, it is the government's view that Māori and iwi have an important voice to play in environmental decision-making, but this does not amount to a veto.
Question number 12, Nicky Wagner.